Welcome to Porter's Place. Chris Porter here, man. Unfiltered, no makeup. Yes, you see all the dents in my face. Laid back, no suit. I am so excited because we have one of the best high school coaches, not just on our First Coast, not just in the state, but in the country here with us today, Donovan Masline. We'll get to him in just a second. But let's talk about one of the big headlines. Our Jacksonville Jaguars continue their search for their next head football coach. Late last night, we learned after the 11 o'clock news that they brought in Mr. Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I know you guys are saying, who is this guy? He was in his first year this year with the Bucs. We've seen the work that he's done with Baker Mayfield down there in Tampa. He comes from that Sean McVay tree. He was under him for a while with the Los Angeles Rams. He is the sixth guy of the 10 that the Jaguars have requested to be interviewed by the team. Now, hey, this is big if you're Trevor Lawrence. He said in his end of the year presser that if he had a say, he wanted an offensive-minded coach. So it appears that if Cohen happened to be the guy, that would be the man. Let me show you the 5 other guys that the Jacksonville Jaguars, have already interviewed, because we've been tracking this since they fired Doug Peterson, almost 2 weeks ago. If you could, Director Andy, show those guys. There they are. You've got Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. You've got Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. You've got Las Vegas Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, former New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh, Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. And so we know they have 4 other guys, and I think at some point it'll animate out. There are a total of 10 that they requested, but these are the individuals that we know the Jacksonville Jaguars have already interviewed. Now let's talk high school football. Take me forward, Andy. And I want to tell you, we have got, as I said at the beginning, one of the finest head coaches, not just on our First Coast, not just in the Sunshine State, but in the country. But he's an even better man. I'm not saying it because he's here. I'm saying it because it's true. That, my friend, on your screen, that is Donovan Masline, the head coach of the Reigns Vikings. Coach, so good to see you.
It's great to be here. Good to see you again, as always. It's exciting.
Coach, let's start with what we just talked about, the Jaguars,
right.
The coaching search.
Right.
You are from Jacksonville. I know that you are a long-time Jaguar fan. Your thoughts on the candidates that they've interviewed so far, the guys they're interested in?
All of those guys are well qualified, But the thing is, you just got to be smart about, the decision making that goes into it. I think any of those candidates, they want to be a head man. They want to be able to lead a program and be a leader of men. And whichever one has the best qualifications to get the job done and to help get us to a Super Bowl. I feel that's the pick we should go with.
I want you to take Coach full, Andy. And I'm going to start with what I said from the beginning, why I love Coach Masline so much. Coach gave me what I call a Hollywood answer. He never gives Hollywood answers. This is the one thing I love about him. You talk to him, whether it's bowls and the T-shirt thing, Coach is always going to be 100. Coach, we talked about the candidates. You said, you gave me the Hollywood thing. You are a fan. You know this city is better when this team is good. Is there anyone, put up the 10, Andy, put all 10 guys up beside Coach, who on that screen you want to be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh man, I'm a defensive minded guy at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Aaron Glenn is doing a great job with his defense. Those guys are flying around. So Rob, he's a proven veteran of getting defenses to play at a high level, but our money is tied up into Trevor Lawrence, and
okay.
We have to make sure that he's well taken care of and he's comfortable. I would go Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson would be my top 2 candidates for the Jaguars.
So, Coach, you happen to coach one of the best high school football teams in the country, literally, has steep tradition. I want to be Shad Khan for a second, and I want you to be Mike Tomlin, because that's the guy that I think the Jacksonville Jaguars should go after as their next head coach. Coach, I'm not catching you blindsided. We talked about it in the sports office, and I'm going to start again. Coach, I'll be Shad Khan. You be Coach Tomlin for a second. Coach, let me tell you why you need to come to Jacksonville.
Why?
Number one, you've got Trevor Lawrence, a guy that we believe when he came from Clemson, he is a generational quarterback. He's already played 4 years. We know he has the potential, although it has not panned out. He has the tools. Now, you've been sitting in Pittsburgh. You had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields this year. You've had Mitch Trubisky. You've had Kenny Pickett. You've had Mason Rudolph. None of those guys. And remember, I'm Shad Khan, compare to Trevor Lawrence. And I know for a fact, Coach, that because of your track record, 18 straight years, if anybody can get Trevor turned around, you could do it. I'm not done. We've got 10 draft picks this year, Coach. We got the 5th overall pick, Coach. We've got a little more than $40 million in salary cap room. I'm not done, Coach. Let me preach to you here. You come into Florida, a no tax state. You've got water. We've got golf. We have an airport. We'll fly you we'll give you a jet. I even have a yacht. You and the family can take the yacht anytime you want to. I'm not finished. I know you're concerned about Trent Baalke. Bring Coach up. I want to see his face. I know you're concerned about Trent Baalke. Coach, you can decide if he's your GM or if you want to let him go. If you keep him, you have final say on all personnel decisions. Coach, I'm not done. I will make you the highest paid coach in the NFL. You have a winning record, $500,000. You win the division, $500,000 more. You win the AFC, you win a game in the playoff, $500,000. Every round you win is $500,000. The AFC championship, you get $1 million. You make a Super Bowl appearance, you get $2 million. You win it, I give you $4 million. Are you not sold?
I'm bringing my luggage in this Louis.
Yes! Good stuff. Thank you, Coach. Hey, I just believe it, Coach. Mike Tomlin is one of those guys. Everybody on that screen that we've shown, they all have a good track record as assistant coaches. He's a head coach. He's proven. I know that's a long shot. We'll trade whatever we have to trade, but that's just my thought. Moving on, let's talk about your team. The Reigns Vikings had a fine year this year. You advanced all the way to the state championship game. You've had an opportunity, Coach, since that game to decompress, to really, think about it, think about your season as a whole. Reflecting back now on that game, your thoughts, how you feel about it?
Always, when you come out on the losing end of a game, you always think about, what could we have done better? What could we have done differently? Just coming out, just being who we were all season, executing our game plan from the get-go to the end. I think we didn't do a good job of that. Just executing and then, putting our students and our kids in the right positions to be successful in some situations. And I know for a fact that game was played again, it'll definitely be a different result, different outcome. But, the students fought hard throughout the game. It was just a great atmosphere. I think over 12,000 tickets were sold. The Viking Nation traveled to come support us. Their fans was already there in Miami to support them. So it was just a great experience, a great moment. Just for us all in year 5 of the new era. And I was excited just being there, being excited for the students, the kids, just to come together as one and just have a tremendous season. They gave tremendous effort all year, and we're definitely hungry. We know how it feels. We know the taste, and we're eager to get back and get another shot at it.
Coach, one thing that I love about you, you're always very transparent. You always make time for us. You're very, very, very transparent. You said from the beginning, all the way back to spring practice last year, that it was state championship or bust. We understand the weight that is on your shoulders, being the head coach of the Reigns Vikings. But do you feel, were you guys too hyped? Were you too confident when you entered that game? What do you think really, if you could do one or two things differently, you would have done differently?
I don't think we were too hyped or, too up for it. The thing about it, all season we had to take it one game at a time. We had to make sure, I always tell them, we have to go in week and week out and prove ourselves, because no one gave us a shot to be here. No one believed in us. For us, the people who was in our camp, the family, the friends that's close to our coaches, that's close to our our kids, like, so it was a matter of just making sure we took it one game at a time, going out to prove yourselves, prove your worth, that you're worth being here. And I thought we did that all season long. I felt the kids were prepared mentally and physically. It was great walkthroughs that we had all, since we had got down there on that Friday. We may change what we eat at, next time. I think we ate maybe an hour away from the hotel, so that was something that possibly I could change. The meetings went well. For us that Saturday morning breakfast, they came down just kind of relaxing, just in the moment, just enjoying it. And then I just felt everything. The preparation was phenomenal. We just didn't execute at the end. The kids were excited just to be there, but they really were excited to come out victorious, and it just didn't go our way. Some factors I felt played a huge factor in it, but overall, they continued to fight throughout the entirety of the game, which we have that never say die mentality. We're always gonna fight till it's 4 zeros on that clock. So I'm excited for. I was excited and amazed every week that just sit back just to watch the kids, just how they managed the team themselves. Jayon, Simon, and Solomon, before the season in the they made it. They kind of made a pact between them and about coach. We want to make sure when we leave that we leave it with the high. We want to make sure that we leave and they understand the culture that's within this program. They understand that it's a winning. It's about developing young men, to be lifelong, great citizens. We all know football is going to end. I just think, the way they just gelled together all season, camaraderie they had. You look up, you're going to always find our football players around each other, whether it's in school, whether it's out of school, they just enjoy being around each other. And that's, I knew when I saw that, I knew this would be a special season for us. And, I tell them all the time, I just like sitting back and watching you guys play, because it's definitely fun.
My bad, Coach. I didn't mean to cut you off there. You said something so profound there that I want to touch on. You guys have Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers, who've worn that Reigns jersey. But one of the things that I know is critically important to you is developing these young boys into good men. Explain why that is one of the focal points, something you guys really focus on over there on the north side of Jacksonville.
Because I think the stigma that's put on our school, that's put on our student body, I know because I'm there every day. Monday through Friday, and then sometimes on Saturday at Saturday school, I'm there. I'm interacting with the kids, and I know their hearts. I know their desires. I feel their pulse. So it's just all about just continuing to lend that hand, because someone lended that hand for me, and we have to be bridge builders, making sure that we continue to build bridges from where we are to success. And we just want to make sure that we lead our kids over that bridge as well, and get them to understand that they have to build bridges for the person that's coming up behind them as well. This is not a one-man show. It's a close-knit family of support that we get in-house, inside the school, from starting from the top to the bottom. Like you said, in the sports room, it's all about alignment from the administration all the way down to the custodian. And I think everybody has the right mindset about what it is that we want to do for our children on and off the field. And at some point they're going to be fathers, and they have to see father figures, and they have to be able to understand what it is that they should instill into their children growing up in their household, and so we just want to put them in situations where they have to make those, tough decisions, being smart about decision making, being smart about who they associate themselves with, what's important in their life, starting with education. So, it's very important that, we develop our kids, whole child. We just don't focus on football. It's about whole child development, because we know they're going to go out into society, and we need them to be successful,
Coach, I know if anyone knows what it means to wear that Range jersey, it's you. You played ball there. You were also a defensive coordinator when you guys won state championships in 2017 and 2018. You just completed your 5th season. Are you still living the dream?
Definitely. I remember just when I was like 7 years old. That was the first year we went and won the state title. So when I was 7, just coming to the games with my dad and my mom. My brother got there in '98 in the fall, and just coming to the games. I know my parents graduated from Rains. On my dad's side, his 8 brothers and 1 sister all graduated from Rains. So it was just, a family tradition of just, pouring into the lineage, the history. So I knew when I was like 7 and I got around football, I knew Rains High School was the school I was coming to. So just to embody it, just to go, walk the halls, to go, go off to college and then come back and, begin in 2012 as a DB coach, as an assistant, and then just to matriculate, my way up, the ranks has been very, very, diligent, been diligent in serving and, just making sure that, I give my best. I always want to give my all to the school to make sure that the standard is the standard, and we keep it that way. We keep the tradition alive. Some things that, that been done in the past, we continue to do. And, they have to always earn those horns, with the win. And, we're definitely keeping that tradition alive. So it's just, it's I get chills, when I talk about it. But it's very full circle, to be able to come back and, ultimately be the head coach of the program. We understand the expectation. They call it pressure, but, someone can't put more pressure on me than I already put on myself. I'm very, I'm very driven. I approach life with a chip on my shoulder, coming from my, upbringing about, size when I was playing football and all that good stuff. You can't go defensive, you can't go D1 football because of your size. And, I just use that as motivation in the classroom. I use that as motivation when I was on the field. And then it just kept getting stronger. The drive kept getting, stronger, and ultimately, becoming a defensive coordinator. Like I wanted to be the best, shout out to Coach Duran Wiley, my guy. But, he gave me the opportunity in 2017 to really show, what I can do. And, it just took off from there. And, I'm just blessed, humble, and, want to keep it going.
Coach, I know you don't like talking about yourself, but I do want to ask one more thing. It's already tough enough to be the head coach of a program that is so steeped in tradition, but when you are really, you as a kid, you graduated from the school, an assistant coach and a head coach, all of us think that we're coaches. And everybody has an opinion on how you should run a program. And you took over this program from a guy that had a ton of success, had won 2 state championships in 2017 and 2018. Although you were the DC, you and I both know being the DC and the head coach, that's 2 totally different things. With all of that said, how have you been able to block out the noise and really run this program the way Donovan Masline wants to run?
I had a conversation with Coach Wiley, when I was named head coach, and, we had a very candid conversation. And, the main thing that he said was, this is not my program anymore. This is your program. You run the program how you see fit, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to answer those questions, those tough questions, and make those tough decisions. So, it's not, it was just about, passing the torch and, understanding how to make the program fit how I wanted to fit, the vision that I wanted to, lead with. And, it's been, every year it's been going in that direction. 2020 was, I always joke, with a lot of coaches, I tell them all the time, 2020 was the best year to get a head coaching job, because it really tested your faith. It tested your mental and your mental toughness, and being able to get a group of kids together to be able to come through and fight through all of the checks and balances of COVID was definitely It was definitely tough. I think I tell it all the time. I think I lost 15 pounds that season in 2020, just off of stress and anxiety alone. But I knew, I think about that moment, think about that year, daily, so that I know we're not going back to that. I know what we have to do moving forward to increase our wins and ultimately get to a state championship. And we've done that 8-3, 9-2, or 9-3. 10-2, and now 13-1. So you can see in our wins that and our production is definitely getting better. And then just the development of our students on and off the field has been a great vision. Great to see our kids just come together and just they have a mindset that they want to be the best at whatever it is they put their minds to, and we just we're the vehicle to help them get there. So it's definitely been a learning experience. It's a lot of support that goes into it. I cannot sit up here and say it's all me. Starting with my family, my mom and dad, David and Sharon Masline. When I signed up to be the head coach, they signed up for everything that came with it. My mom, she runs the concession stand, the fundraisers. She treats all of the students that she encounters, she treats them all like they're her sons and daughters. In track season, she's making sandwiches, and football seasons, she's on Friday night, she's frying that good old chicken that everybody around
it's
town.
Good, because I've
that
had
everybody
some.
around town like. My brothers, David Jr., Devin, he's the second oldest, and my younger brother, Darius. They all went to Range and played, so they always, be around to support and help in any capacity. And then, I can't forget my significant other, Trelonda Masline. Just the sacrifice of, watching little man Donovan the second.
Okay.
In long hours they have to be up at the school, just being away from home, just her holding down the house and, being at every game. It's just been great to see, everybody just pouring and supporting. It's a number of people, my classmate Bria, Justin, Jarvis Tutt, it's just Mr. Kirkland, Miss Candice, like so many people I can name that just, it's not all just me. It's just a lot of people that care about students, that care about kids, and just want to see them have the best 4 years that they can possibly have at Range. And, my mindset is not all kids are going to go to college. But we can give them a college type atmosphere. We can give them a college type feel for us how we treat them, for us how we for us the apparel, for us pregame, postgame meals, how we travel, how you look, how you carry yourself. It's just great. It's just great to just I'm a part of it. And then I cannot go out not talking about my staff, man. I love those guys. We have great camaraderie with each other, and we want to see each other succeed, and and we're very family oriented. We know each other's kids very well. We support each other. I'm just thankful for those guys being in my life, and and the thing about it is like being a young coach, and you have older coaches that they're old enough to be your parent. And just the support and the listening ear and whatever it is that I ask to be done, they don't do it without rebuttal. They do it without rebuttal, and that's all you can ask for.
Coach, you and I were talking about this offline about you've got to have some talent around, and
definitely.
You have been blessed to have a great deal of talent over at Reigns, and no matter what level you coach on, you've got to have a good quarterback in football, and you have a fine one in Timothy Cole, who has literally won, literally almost every award that you can possibly win at that position. Could you just talk about him as a leader, him as a player, and what he's meant to your team and what he meant to him in 2024?
He meant a lot. It increased our win total. Just being a leader in that aspect, and just the poise that he plays with, the way he carries himself on and off the field. He comes to work every day with his lunchbox. He wants to be the best. He wants to shred the defense and beat them every practice. And so I think just the season that he had, I talk about it with my quarterback coach. You know, we talked about it in the off season. You know, when they made the transition, I wanted him to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever put on a Range jersey, Range uniform, and you know, his first season as a Viking, you know, he put himself in the record books, and you know, that's one thing that we talked about. You know, he doesn't know it, but you know, we talk about our kids and what we want them to do. We have our personal expectations for them, and when they start to reach those and exceed those, it's just heartwarming to see the success that he had. We all knew the type of player that he was. When he was across the street, I can't say the school. When he was across the street, we knew the type of player that he was. So it was definitely fun to coach him this year, and looking forward to next year. You know, he's he knows intangibles that you just can't coach. You know, when you're out there on the field, you have the general. You know, we give you the tools, but you have to know how to use tools. It's almost like carpentry. You know, we can give you a hammer, we can give you a skill saw, but fuse it, you know, it's null and void. So we gave the receivers on the outside, the O-lineman up front, the running backs, and you know, defense to go with it. And I believe it was close to 3,000 yards, 900, close to 1,000 yards rushing, and then 40. You know, we were able to break the single season passing touchdown record for the all-time passing yards.
And this year, you know, we always live in the present. If you won a state title, we've been talking about a repeat. How relieving is it for you that the most important position on the team, you've got you all the way to the state title game coming back?
You know, we were in a situation one year we didn't know who quarterback. You know, we had a kid that made a sacrifice from receiver and went quarterback and had a phenomenal senior season playing that position. And we have a guy that can come back with experience, knowledge. He's seen multiple defenses. He know what to expect. He know how to handle adversity. You know, it's definitely a plus. And, you know, he understands what it takes to be a winner. And, you know, that just feeds into everybody else, the team. You know, I'm pretty sure they already have their personal goal for as a team. But, you know, I just want them to continue to play sound football, continue to play as one unit, continue to carry and represent the brand every day that they wake up. You know, every day they wake up, even when you don't have the clothes on or the name across your chest, they know who you are because you stand out amongst others. And, you know, I'm excited for what they will be able to do. They're locked in this offseason. We have some kids playing basketball, a lot of kids on the track. Some kids wrestling, you know, we have some that want to play baseball. So, you know, we're in support of kids playing other sports to kind of stay active, and you know, but we do have kids who are right now, you know, as we speak, they're in the weight room and you know, they're working out on the field, you know, for its technique and just continue to work on their craft, and that's what we love about our students. We love about our athletes. Like they're not afraid. They're not shy to work. They're not shy to hurt. They're willing to endure, you know, pain. They're willing to endure the pain of discipline, you know, so that they can, you know, reap the benefits of it that come from, you know, being a disciplined student athlete.
Coach, I'll wrap up with this. Obviously, it is no secret you guys always have a target on your back when you reigns a Viking. What will be your message to your team? Because spring ball is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. You just wrapped up the season. What's the number one thing you're going to be telling your team coming off a season where you did accomplish so much?
I never really thought about that during our downtime. You know, ultimately it's just, you know, what's done in the past is in the past. Mm-hmm. You know, we have to, once again, put our work boots on, and we have to make sure that we prove ourselves starting in the spring with our commitment to each other and our commitment to the program. And we have to make sure, you know, I try to stay away from using the word sacrifice. We have to make sure that we invest into into what we're doing. Be intentional in what we're doing. Be intentional in your off-season preparation. Do everything with the purpose. Don't just get up and say, hey, I just got to go to workouts today. I just want to get through it. Make sure that we be intentional about what we're doing while we're at workouts. Be intentional about how you prepare for this upcoming season. And I know this senior class is coming up. They have a lot to prove. So I know they will come with a lot of purpose and a lot of passion. And that's the same thing I want to see. I want to see a lot of intentional things being done. I want to be intentional about being better as a student in the classroom. I want to make sure my core GPA is where it needs to be, because a lot of athletes don't understand about the core versus the cumulative GPA when it comes to NCAA requirements. I want them to be intentional about how they are as a son at home. I want them to be intentional about how they treat others when they're outside of the program. And so just, not just focusing on football, but just you as a student, just a student athlete and a member of this, society, just to keep developing and always, be willing to learn, because we never know it all. And, just continue to support and, continue to grow and be the great person that we know they can be.
Coach Donovan Masline, as I said, one of the finest high school football coaches in the country. You just heard him for yourself. An even better man. His team went 13-1 this season. Just came one win short of winning the school's fourth state title. Coach, I thank you for always making time for us, being so transparent, and really understanding it's about the kids. I appreciate
definitely.
that, Coach. Now, Coach, we're doing something new. Usually it's one guest. We're going to transition, but don't move yet. Let's throw up some video of Timothy Cole, and I'll tell you a little bit about him as Timothy takes the seat. So, Timothy, you can make your way to the seat. As you know, he is the starting quarterback of the Reigns Vikings. He just completed his first year over in the graveyard, a fantastic year, 13-1, led the Vikings all the way to the Class 3A state title game, put up so many terrific numbers this past season. We'll get into all of the awards that he's won thus far. But I'll tell you this, he is a fine young man. I call him TJ, but he told me you need to call me Timothy. I get it now. There's the man himself on the screen. If you watch First Coast News, and I know all of you do, we did a one-on-one interview with him. I think they had a couple of games left in the regular season, and he told us then the expectation was to win the state championship and all that good stuff. Timothy, welcome to the show, my friend.
How you doing? Glad to be here.
So good to see you. You have had some time, as I'll ask Coach. Before I even get into that, recently, you have been bombarded with a lot of awards. I mean, every time I read on Twitter, Instagram, there's an award for Timothy Cole, and you've deserved. What have the last 3 or 4 weeks since you played in the state championship game, what have they been like for you?
The last 3 or 4 weeks have definitely been crazy. Coming off the championship loss, it was just a lot. I knew a lot was coming to me, as I should say. So that loss really made me look at the season and was like, oh yeah, we did our thing. I did my thing. They put us in great situations, and like you said, the last 4 weeks they definitely been crazy. Coming off the player of the year for the Jaguars, player of the year for the other news station and stuff like that.
Don't talk about competition on my show.
I'm back.
I'll just keep going.
No, you good. But it's a lot been coming to me, and I'm just thankful and blessed to have those type of accolades.
Timothy, when I see Coach Masline, I always see a poised young man because he's young. Whenever I'm at practice or I'm at a game, the only time I really see him get animated is if something dumb happens or if he's got his Beat headphones on before the game. Do you know what he's listening to in those Beat headphones? I want to know. I should have asked him that. What is he listening to?
I don't know what he be listening to, but he have his own little. I know he has his own little playlist, and he be bopping. He be hyped than us. He be more hyped than us. So I know whatever he's listening to, he's definitely locked into the game.
If you could, Coach Wooden said it's the equivalent of you talking about the competition on my show. You transferred over from Reebok to Reigns. When you got there, what was the biggest difference as far as how they prepare in comparison to Reebok, or what were the things that stood out to you that were different?
It was a lot of things that definitely stood out. Everybody was very welcoming, and it just felt like another home, you know. So Coach Maz, all the AD, Miss Water Jones, the principal, all the coaches, and all the previous players and the players that were already there, they welcomed me, and it was just a great feeling just to know that I am welcome to this family, and I think that was the thing that stood out. Of course, the teachers welcomed me as well, and it was just a lot of things that stood out to me, and not, yeah. I'm fine.
I know when you wear that Range jersey, it means so much. You and I both know some terrific guys have played football at the school. Playing quarterback, probably I've heard, is the toughest position to play on the field. How are you able to deal with the pressures of not just being the quarterback, but being the quarterback at Reigns?
I don't think it was no pressure to it. I think it was just it was definitely a lot to fill, a lot of shoes to fill coming in from Reebok. So, you know, I don't think it was any pressure. It was just I go out there and do my thing, and that's exactly what I did. They let me do my thing, and it took me places.
What did you enjoy most about this season?
Just being around my teammates, you know, like Coach Maz said, you know, we all hang around each other outside of school, in school, on the football field, whatever it may be. So, you know, just being around them guys and bonding with them guys and just staying locked in, like it was fun hanging with them guys and just being a part of a family. Like we was one big family. The coaches, everybody was just one big family, and that was the thing about this team that really made us special.
Let's take a look, if we could, Director Andy, at some of Timothy Cole's awards that he has won based on what he did leading the Vikings to a 13-1 season. Jacksonville Sharks Player of the Week, Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation Whataburger Player of the Year, Florida Times Union Offensive Player of the Year. Those are our partners, so I can definitely talk about them. The All Prep 25 team, All First Coast First team. And let's go to the second screen if we could. I mean, this guy's got so many awards, we couldn't even fit it all on one screen. All Gateway Conference, Northeast Florida, third all-time passing record with 43 touchdowns behind a guy that you may have heard of before, Tim Tebow. Reigns single season all-time passing record, 43 touch passes this year, 2,857 passing yards. He rushed for more than 1,000 yards, including the playoffs, Coach. So don't knock me out. We can include the playoffs, right? 9 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. But let me tell you the most important stat. That last one. I should have put it at the top. That 3.6 grade point average. The most important thing, I think anybody at home would agree, that's on that screen. TJ, when you started back in the spring last year, did you envision all of that?
Nah, I don't think I envisioned it, but I knew it was a goal that I wanted to complete. And it was just all about going out there and doing it, you know, maintaining my classwork, my schoolwork, all of that, homework. And it was just all about being humble, you know, staying humble and staying greedy, you know, coming off my surgery, you know. I knew that I had to have a great season, and that's what I think I went out there and did, had a great season and led my team to a state championship, you know. So it was just all about staying humble and just being greedy.
Did you really enjoy the journey? I mean, because sometimes we get so goal oriented. Because I've learned this in life, and you'll learn this. I'm 45 years young. Mm-hmm. We set these goals. I want to do this. I want to do that. And a lot of times you get to a place or a goal, and it's not what you thought it would be, and you're disappointed. Did you really enjoy the journey of starting in the spring and then having the opportunity to play for a state title?
Definitely, I enjoyed it. You know, the hard work that I've put in. You know, I came in this season thinking, oh yeah, let's go get a touchdown record. You know, let's go get some decent passing yards, and just to come out on top with 1,000 rushing and then 2,000 passing on top of that, 43 touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns. That's a lot to accomplish. So, you know, I know that the hard work that I've put in the spring, the summer, the late nights, the early mornings, you know, it paid off, and the 43 touchdowns and 9 rushing touchdowns shows it.
In sports, we're always looking ahead. As I asked Coach a few minutes ago, spring football is right around the corner. You would definitely enter the spring as not only one of the top to watch players on our First Coast. You'll be a leader on this football team. What will be your message to your teammates once you guys kick off spring ball?
Like you said, the past is in the past. We have to come out. We have to do the things that we did last year, but 10 times better. So being disciplined, getting faster, getting stronger, getting more prepared, and just staying on top of our film. Film is a big part of what we did to get to the stage we were last year. So we just want to come back with that same grit and just win it next time.
All right, I'm gonna take all the pressure off of you. We're going to talk Jacksonville Jaguars just for a second. I'm not going to make a case for Mike Tomlin. I'm not going to waste my time. Director Andy put all the guys back on the screen, the 10 candidates that we know the Jaguars have requested an interview from. Now, the one difference between you and Coach is you got to pick a guy. I don't want to hear, I like Ben, and I like Aaron, or I like Brian, and I like Munkin, or I like Moore, and I like Spagnola, or I like Sala, and I like Brady. You are a quarterback. I know you quarterbacks like offensive-minded coaches. Who is your guy to be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I like the Chiefs defensive coordinator.
Really?
I like
Spagnola.
I like him. If you can't score, if the offense can't score, they can't win games. So I feel like a defensive-minded coach will really stand out and could help this Jaguar team.
You're already the starter. You ain't got to impress Coach. You the starter coming in the spring. I mean, you're not bad. I'm just kidding. Good stuff. TJ, man, good work. I'm proud of you, dog. Keep up the great work. I know you don't like me calling you TJ, Timothy. Tell your mom thank you for making sure that you're here today. Stay healthy this year, man, and finish the drill, finish the mission this fall, my guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, man. Hey, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed the show today. Coach Donovan Masline, his quarterback, TJ Cole, absolutely terrific. Remember, my friends, keep it locked here because we're always going to try to bring you some good stuff. That's it for Porter's Place.